smashed in. Fire ready to go. Brought a bunch of paper, some trash, and some twigs that I've been whittling that I have to clean up anyway. We're gonna burn it. We're approaching one of my last vlogs here. This is going to be my final camping trip while I am employed at the place that I am employed. My seasonal job will end in a few weeks here soon, which means I will no longer be able to live out here near Yellowstone, which is a huge bummer because it's been beautiful, it's been amazing, and this has been truly an incredible experience because things are sort of weird. At the place that I work, because it's seasonal and it's almost over, people are getting very anxious. People are ready to leave. People are looking for what's next. And in some cases that's good, in some cases that's bad. Some people are excited to go on to their new adventure. There's people who have met lovers and they are going to go hang out and meet up with them. There are people who found new, better opportunities and better jobs. There are people who will be moving into Cody, Wyoming, which is the nearest city. There are people who are going to more resorts. There are people who are going back home. A bunch of different stories. Some good, some bad. Some people don't have a job. They have nothing lined up. They don't have a home to go back to and are in dire straits. I'm kind of in that realm. I have applied to probably close to 30 seasonal jobs now, and I have not really heard back from much of them. I am supposed to schedule an interview, although it is almost impossible because it's very hard to predict whether or not I will have internet on certain days. That's made it complicated. I think it is very likely and very possible that I get another seasonal job of this type and go work somewhere else. My hope is to go somewhere warm and avoid the winter in Colorado. It would be amazing if I could go somewhere super amazing like the Florida Keys or Hawaii. Just throwing Hawaii out there, universe. I don't necessarily want to go to just anywhere. There's a lot of opportunity for ski resorts, other lodge type jobs, but a lot of them are going to be in places that are very snowy during the winter. And if possible, I would like to avoid the snow entirely. I've lived in Colorado my whole life, so I've seen nothing but snow. So it would be wonderful to skip winter. I wouldn't hate skipping the holidays either, to be honest. Just kind of don't want to deal with them. But this has been pretty awesome. And people are very antsy. We only have, I personally have 6 days of work left. Our last 2 weeks, we've gotten the entire schedule, so we know exactly when we are and aren't working. You know, people are nervous. People are letting go. People are doing crazy stuff. People are, showing up not sober to work. People are partying, celebrating and reminiscing. Last week, there was a large chunk of people that left. There was a bunch of people from Romania and some other places, but we lost about 7 people last week, which is always a weird, bittersweet kind of thing. Some people, it's like, okay, it's nice to get rid of them. Other people, it's like, wow, I may never see this person again. And, you become kind of lifelong friends. We live in the age of the internet, and communication is definitely easier and possible, but it's still a really weird thing. And you have to be really ready for that and not get so attached. I'll probably talk about the pros and cons of seasonal work at some point. I mean, this has been a pretty incredible experience for me. Again, I utilize it a lot. I explored a lot of Yellowstone. I'm still going. I think my plan is after work ends, I'm going to try and camp in Yellowstone again. I'm going to drive to Thermopolis, which is a hot springs nearby, and then I might stop and camp once again in Glendo in Wyoming before I make it all the way home. So I might take maybe almost a full week before I get home. And again, I want to spend a couple last days in Yellowstone really soaking it in. I mean, this has been incredible. What an awesome opportunity. What an amazing park. I mean, I'm grateful that this happened. I really feel like it was meant to be. I feel like this was part of my destiny, for sure, whatever that may be, even if I'm still a little confused on that. I'm not 100% sure I got the clarity that I wanted. I definitely learned a lot of weird things that I didn't think that I would learn. I believe in omens and a lot of subconscious clues as well as the universe sort of leaving you omens to guide you on your way. I do feel like I got kind of a lot of that. There's a lot of things that really kind of unwinded in a really interesting and strange way. I definitely feel like I grew as a person. I wouldn't say I'm super reserved, but this helped me be even more social. This really proved a lot of things to me. One thing would be like my work ethic. It really confirmed to me that I can completely leave my state, my comfort zone, go to a different place and a workplace, and people will recognize me as a hardworking individual, someone that they trust, they want to work with, they want to hang out with. And keep in mind, in psychology, I mean, that is one way that humans understand themselves better, is through the perception of others. Again, not that everyone's opinion is super important or accurate or true. You know, if a bunch of people are like, hey, you're a hard worker, or, you know, I really appreciate you, you're a good guy, you know, some of it's bound to be true if a bunch of people are saying. Gave me that confidence in myself back that, like, I am a hard worker. I feel like I've gotten very lazy over the years, because I kind of have. But it's good to know that I can go from working kind of very little, I wasn't working that much and I wasn't doing anything physical, to coming back to an entirely new place. You know, in some cases I was uncomfortable, not getting full sleep, I was nervous. You know, most of it's new, but I was still able to get in there, which is really awesome. I got a letter of recommendation from the manager, and it kind of confirmed that, but it just had a lot of nice things to say that made me feel good about myself. And she kind of complimented my ability to sort of just hop in and make it happen. I'm kind, friendly, a fast learner. I was able to, you know, jump on board, fit in the culture, help get things done, and then still do my own thing, stuff like that. That kind of thing gives me a lot more confidence for not only getting hired in the future, but potentially running my own business. I sort of failed at this last year. Man, there's something about this place that feels so familiar. I'm a little worried because I feel like I'm sort of filled with unexpressed emotions at the moment. This whole time I've been moving so fast, and I've been, you know, trying to fit in, get my stuff together, make sure I get paid, make sure my money's right, make sure all this stuff is right. It's really kind of made me feel almost like I haven't been able to emotionally process this, which I'm sure is a common thing. I don't know. I actually expected myself to get a lot more emotional more frequently. I would say overall I just feel considerably happier, honestly. There's certain things that I just don't miss at all. I really don't want to go back to the city. I miss certain aspects, like being able to run out and get some tasty food really quick, or running to the store and the store be, you know, not an hour away. That's really nice. I miss my bike. I miss my cats. I miss my home and parents a little bit. I feel so guilty saying it, but like, I really don't miss my parents that much. I love them. It was nice seeing them when they visited, and it'll be nice seeing them again. I just know that I'm gonna get kind of irritated with them already, and still I'm at a point where I shouldn't be living with them. It would be really nice if I could go back to Denver, get a decent job, and be able to pay rent, but somehow I don't think that's going to happen. I really do want to work for myself and honestly make as much money passively as I can. I know that's like a huge, big shot, almost impossible dream, but I believe it's possible. There are people out there lamping on their assets, and I'd like to be one of them. But I have to figure out how to get the money in the first place. Considering going back, filing my LLC, and going full tilt boogie in my videography, video editing, maybe some photography, creative business, and really give that as honest of a shot as I can, all while also working on my YouTube channels. That's what I really want to do. I will get a job if I have to, but I really am trying to avoid that. I don't want to have a full-time, like 9-to-5 typical job. However, there are types of work that interest me. I'm going to look into becoming a national park ranger. I'm going to look into the U.S. Forestry Services. I'm going to look into some of these jobs where it might give me an opportunity to earn a living, maybe some benefits like retirement, maybe dental care and that kind of thing. And then on the side, I will work on YouTube, because when it comes to a side business and business in general, the upper limits are so high on business, especially with YouTube. I understand it's very difficult, but there are people who have made an insane amount of money. through YouTube. And I would like to join them. And I want to do it by making good stuff. I can always fall back on my fallback career, which is being a mechanic, or perhaps another type of blue-collar trade. I really don't want to have to go into a new trade and learn it. I am willing, and I'm young enough to the point where it'd probably be pretty easy. And I may look at other automotive stuff to do for full-time work while I work on the side. Money is kind of the crux of everything right now. It's the biggest thing that restricts my life and freedom. And it's a very difficult thing to navigate. On one hand, you can simply do more with less, and you will be happier and you will need less. The other half is perhaps maybe I can ask for the things that I want out of this life, including material goods, so long as we're not, harming others and getting there. I think I can find a nice balance of both. Get some wealth and have a fantastic life experience as well. And I'm going to need your help. Alright, I was in kind of a rush this morning to get out of my camping spot. I woke up at about 8:30. I thought checkout time was going to be 11. It was actually 10, so I only had a little over an hour to pack up all my gear and get out. It was very, very cold this morning. I woke up at 4 a.m. It was, I'm sure, probably like 30 degrees out, maybe even colder. My weather app said it would get as low as like 27. I did kind of sweat in my sleep. There was like a stain on my cot, some kind of moisture buildup, which is not good because that could potentially freeze and cause all kinds of problems while I'm sleeping. And when I woke up in the morning at about 4 a.m., I just had to pee really bad, but I heard some elk bugling, which was a little creepy, but also pretty cool. It was like really late at night. Elk and deer are so weird. Like, they seem to be up all the time. Like deer, I see at all times of the day. They're such bizarre creatures, honestly. It was all frosty and really cold this morning. Took me a while to warm my hands and feet up. That kind of stuff always makes me nervous. I really don't want frostbite. I think I've actually got a little bit of nerve damage on my big foot from frozen socks in the winter, just from sitting in my car late at night when it was cold. And I don't know, I don't want to have to amputate anything. So I drove about an hour and a half, beautiful drive. I drove down a road. It passed Biscuit Basin and some other things, which I haven't driven on that road before. And it's actually really beautiful, and there's a lot of geothermal features. So on my last day in Yellowstone, or at least one of them, I plan on going back to Old Faithful, but I think I'm going to drive along that road and stop in a bunch of places, including Grand Prismatic. And I drove all the way over to the Museum of the National Park Ranger, and I think the road to get to is closed. So I don't think I'm going to be able to do that this time. I think it's just an old cabin. It's not really much of a museum. But right now, I am doing a hike to Cascade Lake, I think. It's another 2.5 miles out, so 5 miles total, which is a little rough because my feet are super blistered, and I'm hiking with some blistered up feet. It's actually not that bad. It's kind of funny because, like, if you think about what a blister is, it's like when you rub on a spot, your body sends a little pocket of water to protect it, and it kind of works. So it's like if you get a blister and you keep riding on the blister, it kind of acts as protection, so it's not all that bad. It is a little painful. I think I popped one, but it's not too bad. And now that I'm warmed up and whatever, this hike's gonna be pretty nice. I think I'm gonna do the whole thing, another 5 miles, so we'll have hiked like 14 miles in the past 48 hours. We'll see if I lost some weight from it. I feel good though. I don't know, today's kind of a weird day. I'm in a weird mood, but a little bummed about the Museum of the National Park Ranger. I'm kind of like second guessing myself. Like, I'm very sure the gate was locked, and I'm pretty sure you can't have access to it. Even on the map, it says the road to the campground that it takes place in is closed during winter, but whatever. This is really beautiful. Right away, this is already more beautiful than the hike I did yesterday. But we got a big open valley. There's like a group of guys down there. I don't know what they're doing. Chilling, I guess. The only reason I even thought of that was because, like, there's a sign in the place that I work that's kind of like warning us, like, hey, if you go out hiking, remember it's hunting season now, so don't get shot, I guess. But I don't think there's hunting in Yellowstone. Seems a bit too close. This big, huge open area feels very different to me than a lot of places. I don't know why. It is pretty smoky today, actually. I mean, this is like a relatively clear day outside of the actual smoke. You can see it's like kind of wafting down. It gets very gray over here. But I would say I am less than a mile away from Cascade Lake. And my dogs are howling, or however the saying goes. All right, Cascade Lake is here in the distance. It looks a lot farther in this video. My feet are blistered, but relatively easy hike, pretty flat. This is behind me. We're way into the mountains here. There's a nice little stream right here. Don't forget the stream. But let's get to Cascade Lake. This place is giving me deja vu because this hole is set up in almost the exact same formation as, I think it was the Signet Lake that I went to. It was the same exact thing. The trail came in, went to the left, and then split. One went up a mountain, one kind of went up in the hill around the lake. But this is like almost identical to the other one. It's just kind of really strange. Alright, here's the bottom of my feet since I know you want to know. Nice blister. Looks like that one was popped. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. I'll see you later, friends.